She wants to assert, I didn't know it was being recorded and I didn't give my consent. I still suspect the court may uphold that because he was in prison, there was a right by the public and by law enforcement to record that call. But what are your thoughts?
Well, the waiver of the right to privacy arises by operation of law. The test is whether or not a reasonable person would expect a right to privacy under the circumstances. It's ridiculous as a third party calling from the outside or receiving from the inside a call from a penal institution to expect privacy. Not to mention that you get intermittent pre-recorded messages of this call is being recorded. You know, if you do not wish to be recorded, please hang up now. So I think the fact that you keep talking or that you ignore it is an implied waiver of any rights to privacy, given the reasonable circumstances at the time. So I think she waived it, frankly.
Yeah, I agree. The first time I ever got a jail call in private practice as an attorney, I was like, what is this? But you're right. It is very obvious that's what it is, that it is being recorded. Hang up if you don't want to participate. All right, before we talk about the other issue, I want to play one other piece of a phone call, because this is part of the reason, in my mind, the defense really wants these calls not to be allowed into evidence. Because in this particular piece of the phone call testimony, she is talking with her son, Charlie, about countries without extradition before she was arrested. Let's listen to that together.
The other thing I don't understand that my daughter could help me with, but we've been looking it up over and over, if things change if there is extradition from Vietnam. Because we've looked at all the places. I mean, I could go to Korea and China, but there's no extradition. But we're looking for places where there's no extradition. Maybe she knows about. Maybe she can look up the extradition issue before we waste our time.
Is she going to tell on you that my parents are in the country? My lawyer told us to do that. Okay, but if you mention it to Wendy, is Wendy going to tell? No.
You tell her beforehand. I need to tell you something as an attorney who doesn't talk and has nothing to do with the case. It just has to do with Mom and I and some decisions that we have to make. Yeah, I know you want to bring her up and show her where everything is. Because in a plane crash, no one's going to know where anything is or who belongs to what. So I would like her to come up here so she could see it. I don't think that's asking too much.
Marie, do you think Donna Adelson is as naive as she's trying to come off?
She's very disingenuous, because this call, she's trying to say to the judge that I didn't know that I would come back. I only left because I needed to get out of this situation. But if they had a warrant for me, I would have come back. I didn't know there was a warrant. So how does she align that with this call where she is going to places where there is no extradition? So right there, she's perjuring herself and she's lying in the judge's face. He is not gonna like it, because I'm annoyed with that call that she's sitting there like a deer in headlights. Oh, I didn't know. I was just gonna go get some relaxation, and if they said come back, we're arresting you, I would come back. She's so full of baloney right now.
But that's why they're fighting so hard to keep these phone call recordings out. Philip, let's turn our attention to the other claims. She testified about her treatment in jail, specifically about treatment by other inmates, for instance, and getting roughed up. And she even said, when asked how bad was the pain when they wrenched her arm, she said it was a 10. Unfortunately, good, bad, or indifferent, these things happen in jail. She is correct. She's innocent at this time. Yeah. Weigh in on this particular issue that I suspect a lot of inmates have.
Yeah, she is not at a holistic, all-inclusive spa treatment resort. She is in a correctional institute for women. So to think that you're going to be treated with kid gloves like you are some type of a special inmate who, because of your charmed, privileged life, that they're going to roll out the red carpet for you, you're very mistaken. The test for the court is she mentally incompetent? If she's mentally incompetent, then you abate the proceedings and you send her to the hospital until she is restored to competency, because she has a fundamental fundamental right under the Constitution to be mentally competent. If there is a physical problem, a physical ailment, any type of pain or complaints, the court can accommodate it. But the remedy is not release me, I promise to come back. No, the court can sign all appropriate medical orders to get her treated while she's in custody. And if need be, she might be able to get a segregation order for the jail to put her in special housing or in housing that's geriatric in nature to keep her away from the younger inmates to whom she could fall prey. So I don't think her complaints have merit absent some type of a mental infirmity.
All right, but Marie, weigh in on, do you think that they're legitimate? Do you think they're making them up? And do you think that there's any sympathy at all given the demeanor she had when she was testifying?
They're legitimate. I don't think that she's making it up. And she had a DTS moment. You know what that is? A drop the soap moment. I made that one up for you, Philip. She had it in the shower. She was naked. Someone walked up behind her, ran her hands up her buttocks and said, "Do you like that?" That happens in prison. We all know that. So for her to complain, like you said, like this is a spa, that's her problem. That is why I don't commit crime. It's called deterrence. You do not want to be in that situation. So for that alone, even if you hated your son-in-law, you would not do this. It is called deterrence against the drop the soap moment.
It is an absolute deterrent for me as well, because you are right. Jail is no place to be, whether you are innocent or not. All right, stay tuned.
The reason why is that it's communal. It's communal. It's not private.
It is. But to your point, if they are at risk, they can put you in a secured cell and different security if they need to. So there are the remedies to assist. All right, stay with me, please. Coming up next, we're standing by in Florida for closing arguments to begin.